कारकप्रकरणे 12 पाठः आगस्ट् मासस्य 5 दिनाङ्कः येनाक्षरसमां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते। In the Ashtadhyayi, we will list the first 40 sutras of the Anabhitadhikara, the Vibhaktidhikara. So the first 40 we have already learnt. So I'll read this once today. Tomorrow one of you can read it out, and then we will learn the remaining 32 or 33 sutras of the Pada. Anabhihite karmani dvitiya tritiya cha hoschandasi अंतरांतरेण युक्ते कालाद्धनोरत्यंत संयोगे अपवर्गे तृतीया सप्तमी पंचम्यौ कारक मध्ये कर्म प्रवचनीय युक्ते द्वितीया यस्मादधिकञ्यस्य च ईश्वरवचनं तत्र सप्तमी पंचम्यपाङ् परिभिः प्रतिनिधि प्रतिदाने च यस्मात् गत्यर्थकर्मणि द्वितीया चतुर्थ्यौ चेष्टायामनद्धने चतुर्थी संप्रदाने क्रियार्थोपपदस्य च कर्मणि स्थानिनः तुमर्थाच्च भाववचनात् नमस्सस्ति स्वाहा स्वधालं वषड्योगाच्च मन्यकर्मण्यनादरे विभाषा प्राणिषु कर्तृकरणयोस्तृतीया सह युक्ते प्रधाने येनाङ्गविकारः इत्थं भूतलक्षणे संयोन्यतरस्यां कर्मणि हेतौ अकर्तर्यणे पंचमी विभाषागुणे स्त्रियां षष्ठी हेतुप्रयोगे सर्वनाम्नस्तृतीया च अपादाने पंचमी अन्यारादितरर्थे दिक्छब्दाञ्चूतरपद आजाहि युक्ते षष्ठ्यतसर्थप्रत्ययेन एनपाद्वितीया पृथग्विनानाभिस्तृतीयान्यतरस्यां करणे च स्तोकाल्पकृच्छ्रकतिपयस्या सत्त्ववचनस्य दूरान्तिकार्थैः षष्ठ्यन्यतरस्यां दूरान्तिकार्थेभ्यो द्वितीया च सप्तम्यधिकरणे च यस्य च भावेन भावलक्षणं षष्ठी चानादरे स्वामीश्वराधिपतिदायादसाक्षिप्रतिभूप्रसूतैश्च आयुक्तकुशलाभ्यां च सेवायां यतश्च निर्धारणम्। कारकप्रकरणे कारतुर्थी अधीता बहूनि सूत्राणि सन्ति। करणकारके अल्पान्येव सूत्राणि, कर्तुः करणस्य च एकैकं सूत्रं, विभक्तिविधायकम् एकं सूत्रं, तावदेव। कर्मणि सूत्राणि सन्ति, विषयः अपि बहु अस्ति। चतुर्थ्यामपि बहूनि सूत्राणि सन्ति, सम्प्रदानकारकसंज्ञा विधायकानि। कर्मणा यमभिप्रैति ससंप्रदानम् इति मुख्यं संप्रदानम्। दानस्य कर्मणा यम् अभिप्रैति सः संप्रदानसंज्ञः स्यात्। ददाति इत्यस्ति, किं ददाति, गां ददाति, अतः गौः कर्म, कमुद्दिश्य गां ददाति, विप्रमुद्दिश्य ददाति, विप्राय गां ददाति। विप्रस्य संप्रदानसंज्ञा तत्प्रयुक्तत्वात् चतुर्थी संप्रदाने इति चतुर्थी विभक्तिः। क्रियया यम् अभिप्रैति सोऽपि संप्रदानम् इति वार्तिककारः। अर्थात् न केवलं कर्मणा, क्रिया विशिष्य अकर्मकक्रिया यत्र अस्ति तस्य उद्देश्यमपि संप्रदानसंज्ञं भवति। यथा युद्धाय सन्नह्यते, prepares himself for war, सन्नह्यते, सन्नहनं करोति, he wears his armor and everything and prepares for war. तत्र युद्धं सन्नह्यते इति क्रिया, तस्य अभिप्रायः किमुद्दिश्य सन्नाहः क्रियते, युद्धमुद्दिश्य, अतः क्रियायाः उद्देश्यमपि संप्रदानसंज्ञं भवति इति वार्तिककारस्य मतं। भाष्यकारमते वार्तिकं नापेक्षितं, सूत्रेणैव सिद्ध्यति, क्रिया अपि विशिष्टं कर्म इति वदति, तथापि तादृशप्रयोगास्तु भाष्यकारसम्मताः अपि। अतः अकर्मकक्रियायोगे क्रियायाः उद्देश्यं सम्प्रदानसंज्ञं भवति सकर्मकक्रियायोगे तु कर्मणः उद्देश्यं भाष्यकारमते तदप्यस्ति न केवलं दानस्य कर्मण अपि तु यत्किञ्चित् या काचित् क्रिया अत्र कर्मणा यम् अभिप्रैति स सम्प्रदानम् इत्येव भाष्यकारमतम् ततः विशिष्टधातूनां प्रयोगे सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा विधीयते रुच्यर्थानां प्रीयमाणः रुच्यर्थानां प्रयोगे अन्यकर्तृकः अभिलाषः रुचिः इति रुचेः लक्षणम् उक्तम् तदर्थानां धातूनां प्रयोगे प्रीयमाणः प्रीतेः आश्रयः प्रीतिम् उत्पादयति किञ्चित् वस्तु तत्र प्रीतिः यस्मिन् उत्पाद्यते सः प्रीयमाणः तस्य सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा भवति बालकाय मोदकः रोचते इत्युक्ते मोदकेन बालके प्रीतिः उत्पादिता प्रीत्याश्रयः बालकः तस्य सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा भवति श्लाघ नु स्था शपां ज्ञीप्स्यमानः एतेषां चतुर्णां धातूनां प्रयोगे ज्ञीप्स्यमानः विशिष्टं किञ्चित् यत्र बोधयितुम् इष्यते तत्र यः बोधयितुम् इष्टः यं प्रति बोधयितुम् इच्छा वर्तते सः सम्प्रदानसंज्ञः भवति कृष्णाय श्लाघते इत्युक्ते श्लाघनं नाम आत्मविकथनं to praise oneself किमर्थम् इत्युक्ते to convince Krishna of her own गोपी कृष्णाय श्लाघते इत्युक्ते to convince Krishna of her of her qualities and to make him interested in her so तत्र नीप्स्यमानः कृष्णः अतः कृष्णस्य सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा चतुर्थी विभक्तिश्च धारेरुत्तमर्णः धारयति अस्ति उत्तमर्णः ऋणं यत्र दीयते तत्र यः ऋणं प्रददाति सः उत्तमर्णः यस्मै ऋणं दीयते सः अधमर्णः उत्तमर्णस्य चतुर्थी भवति सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा तत्प्रयुक्ता चतुर्थी विभक्तिः भक्तेभ्यः मोक्षं धारयति भक्ताः किञ्चित् निवेदनरूपेण ऋणं यच्छन्ति तत् हरिः प्रत्यर्पयति मोक्षरूपेण प्रत्यर्पयति इति पौराणिकाः अतः मोक्षं धारयति हि ओस् मोक्ष टु भक्त भक्तैः पूर्वं ऋणं प्रदत्तम् अतः ते उत्तमर्णाः तत्र सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा भवति चतुर्थी विभक्तिश्च स्पृहेरीप्सितः स्पृहधातोः प्रयोगे ईप्सितः इच्छाविषयः सम्प्रदानसंज्ञः भवति यथा पुष्पेभ्यः स्पृहयति यदि ईप्सिततमत्वं प्रकर्षेण इच्छा वर्तते तर्हि कर्म पुष्पाणि स्पृहयति इत्यपि साधु यदि सम्बन्धमात्र विवक्षा पुष्पसम्बन्धी स्पृहा तदा तु षष्ठी विभक्तिरपि साधु इति दीक्षितानां मतम् is everybody able to see my screen? Vasuji says the screen is blank. I have shared the screen, so okay. Vasuji also said he can see it now. Okay. क्रुधद्रुहेर्ष्या सूयार्थानां यं प्रति कोपः क्रुधद्रुह ईर्ष्या असूया इति चतुर्णां धातूनां प्रयोगे यं प्रति कोपः एते सर्वेपि कोपमूलकाः इति उच्यते क्रोधः अमर्षः अर्थात् प्ररूढकोपः द्रोहः नाम अपकारः ईर्ष्या असहनम् असूया गुणेषु दोषारोपणम् एते सर्वेपि कोपमूलकाः अतः यं प्रति कोपः सः सम्प्रदानसंज्ञो भवति तत्र चतुर्थी विभक्तिः कृष्णाय द्रुह्यति रामाय क्रुध्यति इत्यादि क्रुधद्रुहोः उपसृष्टयोः कर्म यत्र क्रुधद्रुह एतयोः धातोः etau dhatu upasarga sahitau. So when they are preceded by an upasarga, karma samnya bhavati sampradana samnyam badhitva. Ramam abhikrudyati अथवा abhidruhyati. So this is not actually a Sampradana Vidhayaka Sutra, it is a Karma Samnya Vidhayaka Sutra. But it is in the series and it is an exception to Sampradana, so we study it here. Right. Radhikshyor yasya viprashnaha. Radha dhatuhu, iksha dhatuhu, shubha shubha pralyalocanam ityarthe upayuktau. So when these dhatus are used in the sense of looking at the horoscope for finding out the positives and negatives. So tada yada anayor dhatoh prayogaha tatra viprashnaha yasya vishaye prashnaha kriyate saha sampradanam bhavati. Krishnaya radhyati ityukte krishnasya shubhashubham paryalochayati ityarthaha. प्रत्यांभ्याम श्रुवः पूर्वस्य कर्ता प्रति आंग इत्युपसर्गात् उपसर्गद्वयात् परस्य श्रु धातोः प्रतिशृणोति प्रतिशृणोति अथवा आशृणोति इत्येतेषां प्रयोगे पूर्वस्य कर्ता. So प्रतिशृणोति आशृणोति is used for a promise or assurance given in response to a request. प्रार्थनां श्रुत्वा ततः अभ्युपगमः अथवा अङ्गीकारः यदा यत्र प्रदर्श्यते तत्र अनयोः प्रयोगः प्रतिशृणोति अथवा आशृणोति इति. तत्र पूर्वस्य कर्ता यः याचते अथवा प्रार्थनां करोति तस्य सम्प्रदानसंज्ञा भवति. तस्मै प्रतिशृणोति अथवा तस्मै आशृणोति इति. So he promises him or he assures him or her. यदा विप्रः आगत्य गां देहि इति पृच्छति राजा अस्तु इति अङ्गीकरोति तदा राजा विप्राय गां प्रतिशृणोति. महर्षयः आगच्छन्ति रामं राक्षसनिधनं प्रार्थयन्ते रामः अस्तु इति अङ्गीकरोति. रामः महर्षिभ्यः राक्षसमर्दनम् आशृणोति. अनुप्रतिगृणश्च. So that one pratishnoti ashrunoti is used in quite a few contexts, whereas this one is mostly in the Vedas. Anu pratigrina, anugrinati or pratigrinati. So grinati ityatra atra veda mantram vachayati ityarthaha. So yada kaschit hota ucharayati tam anyaha protsahayati adhvaryuh tada anugrinati pratigrinati iti prayogaha. So yasya uchcharana vishaye prashamsa kriyate. Adau uchcharana kriya asti tataha protsahana kriya. Purvasya karta uchcharana kriyayaha yaha karta hota tasya sampradana samya hotre anugranati ityarthaha. Parikrayane sampradanam anyatarasya. Parikrayanam niyatakalam bhrutya svikaraha. So for a particular time you hire somebody, that is parikrayana. So tatra karanasya sampradana samya bhavati. So the karana of such a thing, that is the parikrayana vyapara, that which is the instrument, that is the amount of money or the price of hiring. So tasya sampradana samya vikalpena bhavati. Ataha shataya परिक्रीतः अथवा शतेन परिक्रीतः. संप्रदान संज्ञायां शताय इति चतुर्थी श्रूयते. तदभावे करण संज्ञायां शतेन इति तृतीया विभक्तिः श्रूयते. So that is about Karaka Chaturthi, right? So all the sutras where we have Sampradana Karaka and Chaturthi Vibhakti through that Sampradana, that is Chaturthi Sampradane. Agre tu Upapada Chaturthi. Yatra Vishishta Padanam योगे चतुर्थी विभक्तिः विधीयते. तत्र प्रथममस्ति वार्तिकम्. चतुर्थी संप्रदाने इति सूत्रे दृष्टं वार्तिकं तादर्थ्ये चतुर्थी वाच्या इति. So one of the most famous usages of chaturthi vibhakti is tadarthya. Okay, so tadarthye chaturthi vacha इति व्याख्याने चतुर्थी संप्रदाने इति सूत्रभाष्ये पठितमेतत् तस्मै इदं तदर्थम् अर्थेन नित्यसमासः तदर्थस्य भावः तादर्थ्यम् ब्राह्मणादित्वात् श्ञै तेन च उपकार्य उपकारकभावसम्बन्धो विवक्षितः. So he derives the word tadarthya. Tadarthye chaturthi ityukte tadarthyam nama kim? Tasmai idam tadartham. So this is a samasa. There's a sutra which says arthena. There's a vartika actually. Nitya samasaha. No, sorry. It is a sutra itself. Chaturthi tadarthartha balihita sukharakshitaihi. So this is a chaturthi samasa. Chaturthi tatpurusham. So brahmanaya idam brahmanartham. So it can be in all three lingas actually. Brahmanarthaha supaha, brahmanartha yavaguhu, brahmanartham phalam kimam. So arthena nitya samasa. It is a nitya samasa. So you don't hear it in the vigraha, but there is a samasa. We'll see this in the samasa prakarana. So he says tasmai idam tadartham arthena nitya samasaha. Tadarthasya bhavaha tadarthyam. So tadarthasya bhavaha ityarthe tadhita pratyayah. Tadartha shabdate tadhitaha shnai pratyayah. Brahmanaditvan shnai pratyayah vihidhiyate. So you have tadarthya. So what is bhava? So on a tadhita, if you have a bhava, there is a sambandha which is being always indicated. He says upakarya upakaraka bhava sambandhaha vivakshitaha. So the sambandha, it indicates a sambandha between upakarya and upakaraka. Right? So that which is upakaraka, helpful for instrumental for doing something, and upakarya is that which is being changed or which is being helped by the upakaraka as upakarya. Tatra upakarya deva chaturthi. So there is a sambandha. This sambandha will always have two things. Sambandha sarvada dvinishtha. If you have to have a sambandha, there should be two things which are being related, right? If you have a samyoga, that is a attachment, there should be two things which are being attached. So any sambandha you take, sambandha sarvada dvinishtha. Atra yadi upakarya upakaraka bhava sambandha iti uchyate, tada ubhayohu vastunohu bhavati. Tatra kasya chaturthi iti prashne upakarya-deva chaturthi iti uchyate. So the upakarya, the one, so upakaraka is the one which is instrumental in helping or changing something, and upakarya is the one which is being assisted by the upakaraka. So he says upakarya deva chaturthi. Kimartham bhashye yupaya daru kundalaya hiranyam iti udahratattvad. So bhashyodaharanani kani asya vartikasya ityukte yupaya daru. Daru nama kashtha visheshaha. Yupaya, yupaha nama yagastambhaha. Yupa is the pillar in a sacrifice which is meant for tying the sacrificial animal. Pashu bandhanartham stambhaha vidyate saha yupaha. Tadartham daru arthat kashtha visheshaha. So it is prescribed that the yupa should be constructed out of a particular kind of wood. Okay. So yupaya daru. Atra daru yupaha. The daru is the wood and yupa is the stambha. So daru upakarakam. Daru is the prakriti for creating the yupa. So daru is the upakaraka and yupa is the upakarya. That which is being made from wood is the yupa. So upakarya deva chaturthi. Kundalaya hiranyam. Kundalam. Karnabharanam. Tadartham hiranyam. Nama suvarnam. So gold for making an ear ornament. So gold is the upakaraka and kundala is the upakarya. Upakarya deva chaturthi. Bhashye udahratatvatu upakarya deva chaturthi. Iti abhipretya udaharati muktaye iti. Kim udaharanam dattam dikshitaihi. Muktaye harim bhajati. Okay. So muktaye harim bhajati. He worships Hari for mukti or salvation. Right? So this is, I mean, this is the, in case chaturthi where generally we use for in English. So for mukti. Muktihi muktirtham Hari bhajanam ityarthaha. So the bhajana of Hari is for mukti. Okay, so because there is tadarthya, we say there is chaturthi vibhakti here. So you can see that there is no sampradana. He has chosen an example where there cannot be a sampradana because this is not karmana yam abhipraiti. So hari is not, mukti is not the uddeshya of hari. Okay, so bhajana is the uddeshya. I mean, mukti is the uddeshya of bhajana, right? This is not karmana yam abhipraiti. So there is no sampradana samya. So tadarthe chaturthi bhavati. Okay. Muktaye harim bhajati iti. So muktaye iti muktyartham ityarthaha upakaryatvancha bahuvidham janyatvadi. So now this upakarya upakaraka bhava is of many kinds. So there is direct karya karana bhava where there is cause effect relationship. There is janya janaka bhava, that is where something is created out of, born out of something else, and so on. Upakaryatvancha bahuvidham janyatvadi. Yatha muktaye harim bhajati iti muktihi janya iti gamyate. So hari bhajana and mukti. Bhajana and mukti are the two things which are being related by the sambandha. Mukti is janya out of bhajana. Bhajana gives rise to mukti. Okay. So janya janaka bhavaha sambandhaha. Upakarya upakaraka is a general kind of sambandha. Within this there are several specific kinds which can be there. So here bhajana is upakaraka and mukti is upakarya. Right? So bhajana is bhajanam muktyartham upakaroti. Right? Bhajana will help in obtaining mukti. So upakarya upakara bhava sambandhaha astyeva saha bahuvidhaha bhavitumarhati janyatvadi. Yatha muktaye harim bhajati iti muktihi janya iti gamyate. Prapyatvam va. So there can also be prapya prapyatvam, that is brahmanaya dadhi. So curd for the brahmin. So here brahmanasya upakaryatvam gamyate. Prapnoti. So here brahmana is the prapya and dadhi is the prapaka. So dadhi is reaching the brahmin. Okay. So atra prapya prapaka bhavaha sambandhaha vivakshate. So upakarya upakaraka bhava as a general thing is always there. Dadhi is the upakaraka and brahmana is the upakarya. So yatha muktaye prapyatvam va brahmanaya dadhi iti brahmanasya upakaryatvam gamyate ityadi. Nacha evamapi anenaiva siddhe chaturthi sampradane iti sutram sampradana samjna vidhanancha vyartham iti vachyam haraye rochate bhaktihi ityadau rucyarthanam priyamanaha ityadyartham tadavashyakatvad iti bhashye spashtam. So now there is a question. We see that in this case muktaye harim bhajati ityatra sampradana samjna nasti ataha etad vartikam avasyakameva iti avagatam. Kintu tat sutram avashyakam va karmana yamabhipraiti sa sampradanam, because wherever we have that say vipraya gam dadati, so viprartha gauhu, the cow is intended for the vipra. Okay, tatrapi tadarthyam asti. Yatra yatra karmana yamabhipraiti sa sampradanam ityanena sampradana samya vibhiyate, tatra sarvatra tadarthyam api drishyate. Tadarthya is always there. Because it is for something. You are saying the karma is for somebody. That person gets sampradana. So he says there is tadarthye eva chaturthi siddhyati kimartham sampradana samya vidhanam iti prashnaha. Nacha evam api anenaiva siddhe chaturthi sampradane iti sutram sampradana samya vidhanancha vyartham iti vachyam. Haraye rochate bhaktihi ityadau rucyarthanam priyamanaha ityadyartham tadavashyakatvad iti bhashye spashtam. The Bhashyakara says sampradana samya by karmana yamabhipraiti may not be essential, but for the rest where you have rucyarthanam priyamanaha tatra sarvatra tadarthyam na drishyate ataha tadartham sampradana samya avashyaki iti Bhashyakaraha sakshat vachanaihi kathyati. So that is directly Bhashyakara's answer. But there is also, if you look at the commentaries, he says that is not the only thing. The sampradana samya is also required for a direct relation with the kriya. Kriya janakatva vivakshayam tadartha vachanartham sampradana samya avashyaki. So in this case, tadarthya chaturthi, there need not be a kriya, direct association with the kriya. Right? Brahmanaya dadhi ityukte dravyayoreva sambandha asti natu kriyaya sambandha. So there is a where there is sampradana samya, there is a direct association with the kriya and there is a karakatva, that is kriya janakatva. So tadrisha shabda bodhartham. So there is difference in how there is shabda bodha between say when there is chaturthi by tadarthya chaturthi or sampradane chaturthi. So for that we need the sampradana samya sutra also. So that is one vartika. अन्यान्यपि वार्तिकानि सन्ति. क्लिपि सम्पद्यमाने च इति अग्रिमं वार्तिकम्. क्लिपि सम्पद्यमाने च इति व्याख्याने क्लिपि इति सप्तमी, सम्पत्तिः नाम विकारात्मना उत्पत्तिः, परिणामः इति यावत्. So क्लिप is the dhatu, kalpate iti dhatuः. Sampadhyamane, what is sampadhyamana? What is the artha of the dhatu? Parinama. Parinama is something is being converted or changed into something else. Okay, so that is parinama or sampadhyamana. So klupi dhatau prayujyamane sati sampadhyamane arthe. So there are two stages. So there is an initial stage and a final stage. I mean, when a thing is being converted from say A to B, so that which is being that which is created newly, that which appears anew is sampadhyamana. So tasya sampadhyamane arthe vartamanat chaturthi vachya ityarthah. Klupi dhatau prayujyamane sati sampadhyamane arthe vartamanat chaturthi vachya इत्यर्थः. किम् उदाहरणं? भक्तिः ज्ञानाय कल्पते, सम्पद्यते, जायते इत्यादि. So it is not just the klipa dhatu, there are others, सम्पद्यते, जायते, all of which mean the same. So bhaktihi jnanaya kalpate. Bhakti, devotion, will result in knowledge. That is, will lead to knowledge. So the vivaksha here is devotion itself will be converted to knowledge. So initially it might be just devotion to a particular deity or something, but as the devotion gets matured, it itself gets converted into knowledge. So that is the vivaksha. So bhaktihi jnanaya kalpate. Atra sampadhyamanam kim? Jnanam. So that is the one which is arising out of bhakti. Ataha jnanasya chaturthi vibhaktihi bhavati. Bhaktihi jnanaya kalpate. Evameva bhaktihi jnanaya sampadhyate. Bhaktihi jnanaya jayate ityadi. So bhaktiriti jnanatmana parinamate ityarthaha. So it gets converted into jnana. Klupi iti arthagrahanam iti abhiprayatya udaharati sampadhyate jayate ityadi iti. So he says klupi is not just the dhatu. Klupi iti kevalam saeva dhatuhu na kintu arthagrahanam tadarthakaha ye dhatavaha tesham sarvesham vishaye iyam chaturthi bhavati. Ataha sampadhyate jayate ityadi. Adina parinamate ityadi sangrahaha. So ityadi ityukte anyake dhatavaha ityukte parinamate ityapi asti. Bhaktihi jnanaya parinamate ityapi sadhuhu. Parinamatva prakaraka bodhartham idam vachanam. Anyatha tadarthya chaturthya siddham iti ahuhu. So why this sutra? Tadarthya eva chaturthi jnanartham jnanartha bhaktihi iti siddhyati kila iti prashnaha. Can we not do it by tadartha? Because we said upakarya upakaraka bhava. Atrapi asti bhaktihi upakarika jnanam upakaryam. So atrapi tena eva siddhyati ityukte parinamatva prakaraka bodhartham. Again there is a difference at the shabda bodha level. Okay? So in the shabda bodha where you are we use this parinamatva as a prakara, that is as a visheshana. So for parinama, the intention that the bhakti itself is being converted to jnana, for that special vivaksha. That is a very important vivaksha in this sentence. It is not that bhakti is different and jnana is different. Bhakti is itself being converted to jnana. So to convey that sense of parinama, parinamatva prakaraka bodhartham idam vachanam. So we need this. Agrimam sutramasti, agrim vartikamasti, utpatena jnapite cha. So all these vartikas are included in the same chaturthi sampradane. So there is a sutra and there are a few vartikas. Utpatena jnapite cha. So utpataha nama ashubha suchakaha akasmikaha bhutavikaraha utpataha. So what is utpata? It is an akasmikaha bhutavikaraha. Panchabhuteshu kashtana vikaraha. There is some vikara which is seen in one of the Panchabhutas, akasmikaha, suddenly, ashubha suchakaha, and it indicates or portends some evil. Okay, so there are many such things. If you look at the example, it will be clear. So vataya kapila vidyut. He says vidyut, lightning is generally white in color. So kapila vidyut, if there is a kapila is something like a saffron or a brown color is kapila. Okay, so if the lightning is of that color, kapila vidyut, vataya, so there will be a vata storm. So it indicates a storm. So ashubha suchakaha bhuta vikaraha. So there is a difference, there is a deviation from how it should usually be, and it indicates something wrong. So this is probably scientific. There is some change in the atmosphere which gives that color to lightning and which indicates that there is a storm brewing. Right. So vataya kapila vidyut. So here utpatena jnapite. Saha utpataha. Utpataha kaha vidyut. Kapila vidyut atra utpata shabdena grahyate. Jnapite. Tena kim jnapyate. What does it indicate? It indicates vata. So utpatena yad jnapyate tatsmat chaturthi vibhakti bhavati. So ashubha suchakaha akasmikaha bhuta vikaraha utpataha tena suchite arthe vidyamanat chaturthi vachya ityarthaha. So kaha arthaha mahavatasya suchika. It indicates a strong wind or a storm. Hitayogecha ityagravam sutram, very clear. Hita shabdasya yoge chaturthi bhavati. Brahmanaya hitam. So this is we indicated from the sutra itself in the Samasa Vidhayaka Sutra. There are many cases where there is a parallel between say Vibhakti and Samasa Vidhayaka Sutra. So he says chaturthi tadarthartha bali hita. Right. So Panini includes the word hita in that sutra. So which indicates that there will be chaturthi. He says chaturthyanta will combine with hita. So first there should be a chaturthi with hita. So Vartikakara brings it with the Vartika. Hashikara thinks since the Sutrakara makes that nirdesha, he indicates that there is chaturthi in association with hita. So Brahmanaya hitam. Sutram. Brahmanasya sukhakrit. That which pleases is good for a Brahmin. So those are the Vartikas which give chaturthi vibhakti, not related to a sampradana, in association with particular meanings or particular words. So next we have a sutra, kriyarthopapadasya cha karmani sthaninaha. So chaturthi sampradane ityataha chaturthi iti anuvartate. Kriyartha kriya upapadam yasya tasya sthaninaha aprayujyamanasya tumunaha karmani chaturthi syat. This is a sutra which, if you to understand the pada-padartha, it is pay attention. So kriyartha upapadasya cha. So kriyartha iti vyakhyane kriya arthaha prayojanam yasya sa kriyartha. Kriya iti vishanam visheshyam adhyaharyam. So kriyartha kriya. So there is one kriya which is being done for another kriya. It's a very popular, it's actually a popular usage, though the words seem slightly difficult to understand. Kriyartha kriya. Where do you see it? Generally for pathitum shalam gacchati. He goes to school to read. So tatra patana kriya eka asti, gamana kriya eka asti. Pathanartha gamana kriya. Right? So wherever we have tumun, that is the case. Kriyartha kriya. So there is one action which is the purpose of which is another action. So there is an action 2 and action 1. So the purpose of action 1 is action 2. So pathitum gacchati ityukte patana kriya gamana kriya ityasti patana kriyartha gamana kriya. Gamana kriya is for patana kriya. So that is kriyartha kriya. Kriya arthaha nama prayojanam. So the prayojana, the purpose of first kriya is the second one. Prayojanam yasya sa kriyartha. Kriya iti visheshyam adhyaharyam. Kriya phalaka kriya vachakam. So one kriya whose purpose is another kriya. Kriya phalaka kriya vachakam iti yavat. Kriyartha kriya upapadam yasya iti vigrahaha. So such a kriya, that is पठितुं गच्छति इत्युक्ते क्रियार्था क्रिया सा गमनक्रिया. Okay, so tasyaha upapadam, the one which is associated with that kriya is the second kriya, right? Patana kriya. Okay, so tumunaha visheshanam eshat. So patitum gacchati. You see that kriya, there are two kriyas. Patana kriya, patanam ityasti, gamanam ityasti. Patanartha gamana kriya. So that is the kriyartha kriya. Tasya upapadam. So the one which is associated with is the kriya, which is the purpose, which is again pathanam. Okay, so on that we will have tumun. So tumunaha visheshanam etat. So the kriya on which there is tumun. Tumunaha visheshanam etat. Upocharitam padam upapadam. Okay, so that which is uttered along with it. Okay, pathanartham gamanam. Gamana kriya pathanartham ityasti. Ataha upapadam gamanasya upapadam bhavati pathanam. Sthaninaha ityapi tad visheshanam. So tumun, first thing it should be the upapada of a kriyartha kriya is the first thing, and then he says it should be a sthani. Sthani and adesha. The sthani is the one which was originally there, which indicates that it is not there now. Sthani ityukte purvam tat sthane asit idanim nasti iti gamyate. Okay, idanim asti chet sthani iti nochyate. So sthani naha ityarthat idanim tumun nasti purvam asit. Sthani naha ityapi visheshanam. Sthanam prasaktihi asya asti iti sthani. So there was the prasakti of it being used, but it is not there. Tasya iti vigraha aprayujyamanasya iti yavat. That is why he says aprayujyamanasya tumunaha. Right? So tumun, it is not being heard now, but it was there. Kriyartha kriya upapadam yasya. So it was there, which was associated with another kriya whose purpose was this. Okay. So now this tumunanta is not being heard. Aprayujyamanasya tumunaha karmani. So the karma of that tumun will have chaturthi. So sthanam prasaktirasya asti iti sthani tasya iti vigraha aprayujyamanasya iti yavat tadrishasya tumunnantasya karmani chaturthi iti phalitam. Tumunnulau kriyayam kriyarthayam iti tumun vidhimahimna kriyaphalakam upapadam kriyamachyeva labhyate. So how do we know that kriyartha kriya? It just says kriyartha upapadasya. Okay. Now how do we know that it is a kriyartha kriya upapadam? So the second kriya is not there in the sutra, but it is implied because tumun is always given. Tumunnulau kriyayam kriyarthayam. The tumun is always added to a kriya whose purpose is another kriya. Iti tumun vidhimahimna. Because of that sutra, kriya phalakam upapadam kriyamachyeva labhyate. So that's why he says kriyartha kriya iti. Sthaninaha ityasya vyakhyanam aprayujyamanasya iti. Okay. You already saw that. Phalebhyo yati iti udaharanam. He goes for fruits. Kimasti phalani ahartum yati ityarthaha. He goes to bring fruits. Ityeva arthaha. That is the artha which is being conveyed. Okay. So there are two kriyas here. One is yana kriya, going. The other is bringing the fruits. Ahartum is to bring. So phalani ahartum yati ityasti. So atra kriyartha kriya. So there is one kriya which is aharana kriya, which is a pradhana kriya. The purpose of going is to bring the fruits. So aharana kriya asti, aharana kriyartha yana kriya. Right? So kriyartha kriya. Aharana kriyartha yana kriya. Tad upapadam yasya. Yana kriyayaha upapadam asti ahartum iti. Aharana kriya. So tasya sthaninaha nama aprayujyamanasya tumunaha. So the ahartum, the tumunanta on that aharana kriya is not heard now. Phalebhyo yati ityatra. Phala ityasti yati ityasti. So tasya karmani. So aharana kriyayaha karma kim? Phalam. Ipsitatamam. Aharana kriyaya sambandhum ishtatamam phalam. Ataha ipsitatamatvat karmatvam phalanam asti. So tumunnantasya karmanaha. Arthat phalanam फलेभ्यः चतुर्थी विभक्तिः भवति फलेभ्यो याति इति उदाहरणं फलानि आहर्तुं याति इत्यर्थः सो फलान्याहर्तुम् इति इह Phalaharana kriyartha yana kriya. So you have kriyartha kriya. So the yana kriya, the action of going, is for the purpose of bringing fruits. Phalaharana kriyartha yana kriya. Tadvachake upapade. So the upapada of that is ahartum iti adhyahara labhya tumunnantartha aharana kriyam prati. So there is ahartum, which is not directly heard, it is through adhyahara. We assume that it is there. So ahartum iti adhyahara labhya tumunnantartha aharana kriyam prati phalanam karmatvat chaturthi dvitiya apavadaha. So it is as an apavada to dvitiya. Nacha tadarthya chaturthya gatarthata shankya. He says chadarthya chaturthi bhavati kila kimarthamidam sutram iti prashnaha. So he says no, tadarthya chaturthi na bhavati. Kimartham? Nacha tadarthya chaturthya gatarthata shankya nahi yana kriya phalartha. So he says the yana kriya is not directly for fruits, it is for bringing fruits. So phalakarmaka aharana kriyartha yana kriya iti bodha. The shabda bodha is that way. He goes for bringing fruits. Okay. So that it is not, I mean, that is very important, because phalebhyo yati, if you just say tadartha, he might be going for eating fruits. No, he is going phalani ahartum yati, for bringing fruits. So the tadartha, the purpose of going is not just fruits, it's not fruit directly, it is bringing fruits. There is a kriya which is implied there in the shabda bodha. That is how we understand the sentence phalebhyo yati iti. Ataha tatra tadarthya chaturthya na bhavati. Okay. So nacha tadarthya chaturthya gatarthata shankya nahi yana kriya phalartha kintu phalakarmaka aharana kriyartha eva. Ataha na phalebhyaha tadarthya chaturthi prasaktihi. Evam cha phalakarmaka aharana kriyartha yana kriya iti bodhaha. Okay. So that is how we understand the sutra. There is one more example he gives. Namaskurmo nrisimhaya. This is a mangala of some shastra grantha. I don't remember which one. So namaskurmo nrisimhaya ityasti. Atra katham chaturthi iti prashnaha. Sataha namas ityasti. Namas shabda yogena chaturthi vibhaktihi bhavitum arhati. Kintu there is also a kriya there. Kurmaha. So there is a kriya yoga. So there is a karaka vibhakti, which is a karma, which is also interfering. So upapada vibhakte hai karaka vibhaktir baliyasi munitrayam namaskritya ityasti. So there is Karaka vibhakti, which is overruling the upapada vibhakti. So how do you have the chaturthi here? Iti prashna. Namaskurmo nrisimhaya. So tada uchyate nrisimham anukulayitum namaskurmaha. Iti bodhaha. Okay. So anukulayitum iti tumun asti. Namaskara kriya asti. Anukulana kriya. So to make him favorable. Okay. So there are two kriyas. Atra namaskara kriya. The purpose of namaskara kriya is to make him anukula. Okay, so kriyartha kriya asti. Anukula kriyartha namaskara kriya. So tasya upapadam punaha namaskara kriya. So sorry, anukulana namaskara kriya. Kriyartha kriya upapadam yasya tasya aprayajyamanasya sthaninaha. So the tun here is not being used directly. That is through assumption. We are assuming that it is there. So the karma of that anukulana, to make whom favorable, it is nrisimha. So karmatvat kriyarthopapadasya cha karmani sthaninaha ityanena chaturthi. Namaskurmo nrisimhaya. Nrisimham anukulayitum iti. Nachatra namaswasti ityeva chaturthi siddha iti vachyam. Upapada vibhaktehe karaka vibhaktir baliyasi iti dvitiya pattehe. Etat suchanarthameva idam udaharanantaram darshitam. That is why he gives the second example. Dikshita almost never gives a second example. He never gives it without a particular reason. So why he is bringing in a second example is this, That is, even though we say that Upapada Vibhaktehe Karaka Vibhaktir Baliyasi, we see examples where there is Chaturthi with not just with Namaha but with a Kriya. So in such cases we use this sutra. So Nrasimham Anukulayitum Namaskurmaha iti bodhaha. Evam Swayambhuve Namaskritya ityadavapi. So there are other cases. So there is Munitrayam Namaskritya, there is Swayambhuve Namaskritya. So in one case we have Dvitiya, in one case we have Chaturthi. So we have justification for both. In one case it is direct karmatva chaturthi. So in this case again, even though this is an upapada vibhakti, karmanaha eva chaturthi vidhiyate. So this will overrule that. Okay. So swayambhuve namaskritya ityadavapi. And anyway here the karma is different. There it is directly a karma of the namaskara kriya. Right? Munitrayam namaskritya ityukte sakshat namaskarana kriyayam karmatvam asti munitrayasya. Swayambhuve namaskritya ityatra tu namaskara kriyayam karmatvam na. Swayambhuvam anukulayitum namaskritya. So anukula kriyayam swayambhuvaha karmatvam asti. So there is a difference in how the sentence is perceived or understood. Should be understood rather. We would not know the difference, I mean, unless this is there. So okay. So I think we will stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Yes, always it is vivaksha. Exactly. Vivakshata karakani bhavanti. Not just karaka, vibhakti, whatever you take. As soon as a sentence comes into play, we have this. Okay. So namaskara, again you have the bhavavachana. Okay. Tumartha bhavavachana. So it will be chaturthi itself. I think. Oh no, sorry, it is not bhavavachana. Sarvebhya namaskara. So there, namaskara. Can you have a dvitiya? No, we cannot. Instinctively, we cannot have a dvitiya there. Why? Because it is not a. See, the difference is sarvan namas. No. Because the namaskara is not a kriya, right? So kridabhito bhavo dravyavat prakashate. So there is no direct kriya there. It is a dravya, that is dravyavat prakashate. So whatever is told by the kridanta there. So unless it is a bhava kridanta, it is not kriya which is being told by this directly. So there is no karma there. Okay, namashabda yoge chaturthi upapada chaturtheva bhavati. Because the namaskara, even though it is derived from the kru dhatu, that is why he says namaskurmaha or namaskritya, where again ktva is in the, it is a bhava. Okay, bhava vachana. So unless it is a bhava krudanta, the krudanta will not directly indicate a kriya. So there is no kriya janakatva and there is no karmatva. Ataha dvitiya na bhavati, bhavitum narhati. Karmani dvitiya will not apply because it is not kriya janaka and not a karaka. Because it is not a kriya at all when you are saying namaskara. Okay. Any other questions? येनाक्षरसमां नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः. मुनित्रयं नमस्कृत्य तदुक्तिः परिभाव्य च वैयाकरणसिद्धान्तकौमुदीयं विरच्यते. So we'll see the next part of this tomorrow. The